Hola, soy Diana Coriat. Bienvenidos a MendoLatino.
Hola, yo soy Loreto Rojas. Welcome to MendoLatino.
On MendoLatino, we discuss social, cultural, and political issues that are relevant right here in Mendocino and beyond. The goal of this program and all the work of MendoLatino is to make visible the voices, histories, cultures, and perspectives of the local Latino community. So you can listen to us right here on KZWX on the second and fourth Monday of every month at 9 a.m. And you can catch any of our past programs on our YouTube channel or Facebook page. Also, both are called Mendo Latino, so check them out.
And while the majority of our shows are in Spanish, we sometimes bring you bilingual programs like today. The first half of this program will be in English, and the second part mainly in Spanish, but also some parts will be bilingual.
That's right. And we're doing this more and more. We've been on the air 6 years now, and we started primarily in Spanish, but we want to reach everybody. So during the month of March, Mendo Latino is commemorating International Women's Day by featuring women that we know and admire. So while technically International Women's Day falls on March 8th, the entire month is often observed as Women's History Month. It's a time to highlight women as well as people of diverse genders and sexualities, their contributions, tell the overlooked stories, and reflect on our struggles for equality and justice.
Last week, we spoke with Xochitl Martinez, a family therapist, a founder of the Native American Spiritual Leaders of California, and a psychiatrist nurse with the Community Health Clinic in Ukiah. We also spoke with Anaí Rojas, whose work with Prospera, located in Oakland, in the Bay Area, empowers immigrant women to launch and grow their own businesses while remaining rooted in the values of cooperation, community, and economic solidarity. It was really an inspirational program. We hope you can listen it. Check it out.
That's right. Today, we are turning our focus to one of my favorite subjects, at least, women artists. So, like in most professions, the work of women artists has often been overlooked, sometimes completely left out of the history of art altogether. And this is doubly true for women of color artists.
So today we are excited to be in conversation with two local artists, Sally Rodriguez and Elena Amaya. They are here to discuss the current show at Cobalt Gallery in downtown Fort Bragg, and we want to tell you a bit about them.
Okay, I will introduce Sally. My pleasure to introduce Sally Rodriguez. Sally is a self-taught Chicana painter and art educator who has taught at Noyo High School for the last 5 years, engaging students in creative collaborations and witnessing the transformative power of art. She began painting while living in Missoula, Montana, and has led community workshops across the US and Mexico, focusing on homeschoolers and underrepresented youth. She is a Bay Area native and a longtime participant in Flockworks. Sally contributes as part of the board and enjoys fostering connections within the arts community. Her
Yes.
creative practice is rooted in curiosity, experimentation, and engagement, reflecting a lifelong passion for art, disruption of the status quo, and community building. That's right, Sally. I love it. I get inspired just
Thank you.
listening, here, reading your bio. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. Thank you for having
And
me.
you're very welcome. Thank you for coming to Mendo Latino, Sally. And with her is Elena Amaya, who was born and raised in Fort Bragg. She is currently a student at Noyo High, and at 18 years old has just curated her first gallery show. We went to see it on opening night, and we're excited by the diversity of artists who are participating. This show counts as her capstone project. Elena Sarai tell us that her love of art started when she was a freshman and took some art classes. She realized that she could get better at art, and she already has sisters that also do art. So it has been always a part of her life. She sees this she sees this work as a meditative practice and looks forward to continuing her artistic journey. She is the curator of We Are All Individuals art exhibit. And in this show, Elena led the creation and presentation, collaborating with mentor Sally and also with the help of the Chamber of Commerce Well Festival. Her work spans diverse mediums exploring themes of individuality, self-connection, and community, while drawing inspiration from the natural world. Elena's art and curatorial vision emphasize the interplay between personal expression and collective experience, creating spaces that celebrate both uniqueness and interconnectedness. Me cuesta un poco el inglés, así que muchas gracias por
It's a bilingual show.
Through her ongoing exploration, Elena continues to develop a thoughtful, multifaceted approach to visual storytelling. We are so pleased to have you, both of you, and bienvenida, Elena.
Gracias.
Just want to say last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a show also that was wonderful, though the women did not work together. It was very much an intergenerational show, women of different generations that were sharing with us. I just want to say, we're going to ask you, I want to talk a little bit about the exhibit, then we're going to back up and ask you a lot more about the process. So Loreto mentioned it. This is for all of you out there who might have missed the show. It's still open. So it's entitled We Are All Individuals, spearheaded by Noyo High School and with Elena and Sally as spearheading it. The show is a celebration of the Whale Festival, and it's also a collaborative event. Okay, so it's made possible through Flockworks, Noyo High, and the Fort Bragg Chamber of Commerce, Noyo Center, and the City of Fort Bragg, which is fabulous, all those collaborating agents. It's on view through March 28th, so folks, you have about several days left to see this show. And the gallery hours are Thursday through Saturday, 12 to 5 p.m. or by appointment. Okay, so let's kick this off with Sally. So Sally, you are self-described, you're an artist and you're an educator. And I'm really interested in like how you bring those together as a teaching artist and mentor.
Well, the education, being an educator, happened because of art, and I had a little bit of experience doing classes life skills classes when I lived in Missoula, Montana, which is also when I began painting. And then just through doing my own art and starting to show it was when I was invited down in the Bay Area to Walnut Creek Civic Arts to start working with homeschool classes, which is where I cut my teeth. The director said, if you can deal with the homeschooler crew, you can do anything. And I ended up working with these groups of kids all the way till they graduated high school, and I loved them. And that's kind of where I just got my style of loose and really just following the kids where they were creatively focused and really just having fun and building confidence is what my focus has always been. Not per se, we're going to do this method, we're going to try this, we're going to focus on sketching. All of that, to me, those details come later once people feel connected and relaxed and safe and working and creating what's coming out of them. So that's the educator part of me. And the exciting part for me is when you guys, Elena, when you guys get to that point, the kids get to the point of they are creating now what attracts them, what's drawn out of them, what the current events are that are going on around right now. And then after that, they're curious as to starting to develop their skills in a more refined way. And they've already sort of established their voice. And that's really, I'm just there to encourage and get the tools. And I tell them I'm basically their art waitress, you know? And that's what's fun for me, really. And I learned so much from them always, they're always pushing me, because uh, the world is changing so rapidly, and the rapid change, with technology and then just with social media and all the stimuli around us is happening, but it all comes down to the same scribbling, the same, give me a piece of chalk, give me a piece of charcoal, give me some paint. It all sort of stems from that inner, that inner guide. So that inner muse, I guess, is what it is.
Great.
So yeah.
Thank you, Sally. Yeah, wonderful. And so, Elena, um, we heard that this show started when you took a whale watching trip. So, can you tell us a little bit how you come to curate this show?
Yeah, so on the whale watching trip that Sally had invited me to, there was this one, I think he's a, I don't know what he is, but he was like, he's really experted on whales, and he was talking about how whales, were identifiable by their tails, and how like they worked like a thumbprint. Like if you upload a picture, or if you get a picture of their fluke, which would be their tail, and you upload it to this site called Happy Whale, that they could be identified, and you can find their name, their age, and everything. And then after we had actually gotten off the boat, he gave us these stickers that said we are all mammals. And then that's kind of where the title "We Are All Individuals" came from, because I really like that.
Yeah, and you are talking about Quique de la Luna, who is currently working with Noyo Center in a sister city or sister land project. And I believe it was in that trip where actually when they look at the fluke at the tail, they identify a whale that he has seen also on the coast in Mexico. And
Yeah,
he was very excited. Is that right, Elena?
yes, that was Willie. Yeah, they hadn't seen him in, I don't know, 10 years, I think, 15 years. And they had seen him in Mexico. And then 10 years later on that trip, we had seen him here. So, yeah, that was really exciting. And he got really emotional too. Yeah, I think it was a really happy day.
Yeah, he was recognizing a friend, I suppose. And it
Yeah.
talks so loudly about how we as creatures, as sentient creatures, beings, we move from one place to another. No, the whales don't know anything about frontiers or borders or immigration papers or anything like that. Diana.
Yeah, we're going to have him on the show eventually also. We enjoyed meeting him, and he had such great things to say about the students. And he said, the students, all of you were mesmerized, and a lot of people, even though we live on the coast, had never been on a whale watching trip. We see them from the shore, but actually getting on the boat. Sally, so was that your idea? Like, all right, I'm going to get these kids on a boat, and then it's going to lead them to art. How did
No,
that
not
turn
at all.
out?
That was talk about a fluke. That was a fluke chance. I was at 100 Women Strong, and it was one of the times that I was actually voting. And I was just standing in the crowd, and this woman in this awesome mint green jumpsuit comes by, and I just felt like I knew her, and I started talking to her, and it was Katarina, oddly, from the Noyo Marine Sciences Center, and she just asked what I did. I said I do art myself and also art with the Noyo High School, and have been teaching there actually for about 7 years. There was a little break with the COVID thing, but um, one thing led to the other. She said, "Hey, we're gonna take some people out on a boat. Do you have any kids that are Spanish speaking, that are artists, Spanish?" And I said, "Hell yes, I do. All my kids are amazing artists, and most of them are fluent." And it ended up that we were able to, I think there was about five, Norma Trejo and some of her kids, and then some of mine went, and we got on the boat that day, and it was just such an amazing experience to be out there whale watching. It was my first time out here in Fort Bragg, and then to also see Willie and to meet Kike, and to just not even know what was going to grow from this experience, that Elena was going to actually develop this whole, show. I mean, this show is so incredible, um, that it grew from this, experience of these whales really bringing us together, especially now in the time of the whole immigration and this whole horrible situation that, hey, spirit moves in different ways, and we need to listen to that and listen to these animals that are going to be leading us, I think.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
inspiration strikes at any time. So back to Elena, so you were on the whale watching trip, you were moved, you were inspired. What happened next? What led to you curating an entire show at such a wonderful young age?
Well, at Noyo, we have to do a senior project. So I got the idea, and then there was this one lady at Noyo who told me that what was it? That they were just looking for volunteers for Whale Fest. And originally I was just supposed to volunteer until like I kind of got the idea of we are all individuals and to put on an art show. So I just chose to kind of go that way instead of just volunteering and helping someone else. I chose to curate my own show. So.
Great.
And how did you get to gather all these different artists and work of art? And I really want to invite everybody here on the coast. This is guys from Ukiah. This is an excellent excuse to just drive to the coast and see this show, and because the variety of the art expression and the works that are there are very interesting and inspirational. I was at the opening night, as Diana was saying. We were there, and it was hard to move from one to the next one because it's such a variety and depth and expressions of art. So tell us, how did you work with that, Elena, finding all these different artists, and then Sally can tell us who was placing where and how did you actually place it on the walls and all that.
Yeah, so I started making these flyers, but I got help from Tanya Ayala. She works for Flockworks, and she helped me make these flyers, and she really guided me on that. So we put the call out to all mediums. So it doesn't matter what level of art you were, like it was just open to everyone. The only thing that we asked was for it to be whale or ocean related. And so since it was open to everyone, I got contacted by I think Kirsten from Brigadoon got me in contact with Larry Foster and JD Mayhew, and I think she just kind of like told them about it, and then they ended up contacting me through email, and we ended up just coming together to get these two famous artists, which this is Larry's Whales behind me, and JD Mayhew is actually one of the people who started the Whale Wars and is one of the reasons why we do Whale Fest here on the coast.
That's amazing. So, Sally, you helped us a lot. I just want to say when Loreto and I, as MendoLatino, were invited by Larry Spring Museum to do a window exhibit. We didn't, we're a radio podcast. So we're like, what? Okay, how do we do this? And you were right there helping us and, getting on the ladder and just helping us put it up and envision it and think about it. So, what's that process like? Like, as an educator, how do you work with a young person who it's their first show? Like, how did you and Elena work together specifically?
And helping you and Loreto with that show, it was really, I just remember I was just crawling around on a ladder a lot. And then basically getting you guys to realize, okay, we're going to start hanging stuff up. I mean, it really is just about, and that's what I did with Elena. Actually, it was pretty easy, is just you find your main pieces and you're going to use those, and then you just start placing that, and then you start building around those main pieces. And Elena is just a natural. I swear she is. She curated that whole show. She knew going in, we want to premiere Larry's piece in the back of the gallery, and then um, sprinkled JD Mayhew's pieces along, and then everybody else in the community. I mean, there's such a variation of artists in this show. And as far as curating, I think we just do it naturally in my makerspace, in our makerspace at Noyo High School. And if you guys ever want to come over and see the mess, I mean, it literally is a mess. We're constantly moving stuff around in our classroom, which is a big portable, and stapling things on the wall and hanging things from the ceiling, whatever it takes. We're constantly moving around to get our new ideas out and give them front and center. And in a strange way, there's so much respect that goes on in that maker space, in that people's work, every student's work can be sitting around for months and nobody really will mess with it. It's respected that it's somebody's work. And usually if something happens, it's usually me that ends up accidentally throwing something away. But I try not to do that very often. But as far as curating the show, I think being in the maker space and having to be sort of, we're always thinking on our feet and problem solving naturally when you walk through that door, because we have such a limited amount of space and so much going on that I think for the kids to come in and be in a gallery space is just an extension of, okay, how does this look? Let's put it up. Let's, hang it on the wall. Let's first place them on the floor and then start creating an atmosphere. And that's where, Elena, you're just a natural in creating a beautiful atmosphere, and putting work that complements each other and has a certain flow to it, where you walk in and everything is sort of one painting is suggesting attention to the next, and just that, being able to move that ladder around, have fun, put on some music, and celebrate the art.
Right, and there are also ceramic pieces and other type of art. I saw that also Janet Self in her new reincarnation was having some kind of lamps. And can you tell us, Elena, a little bit more about the different media that can be found in the exhibition?
Yeah, so Jen itself is one of the artists that has clay pieces or pottery, or and then we have these lamps that have like woven baskets on top, and they're painted. And then we have a paper mache humpback whale that's hanging from the outside of the wall. And that one was made from a ninth grader at MendoLatino High School, or when she was in ninth grade. I think she might be a bit older now. And then we have whale bones made out of paper mache also. And we have a bit more pottery, and they're actually whale noises. Like if you shake them, they kind of make noise like whale songs. So yeah, that was pretty cool because it was all mediums. Like we wanted all art, like not just paintings, but any type of art. So
Right. There are collages and also some like almost like uh, I saw one that is like a fish and it says not a whale but a fish that is also like a little toy or a little object that
yeah,
Kiana made. And serigrafía, I don't know how it's said in English, printing,
Choreograph, yeah.
yeah.
I also wanted to just say something. I know we're almost at the half hour, I think, but I just wanted to say that Gallery is really interesting for me, like since I got to know them. Flockworks was handed stewardship, this is from their website, of Fort Bragg's beloved Cobalt Gallery in March of 2025. So we're just about a year with that relationship. And they say it marked a pivotal moment, one that helped open new doors and allow us to expand our impact in the community and beyond. So now we have a welcoming hub where art brings people together. Elena or Sally, do you want to say anything about that space and like what's going on there and why it's so magical right now?
Do you want me to go ahead, Elena? Well, yeah, it is. It's crazy that it's been a year, but the Cobalt Gallery, the relationship with Noyo High School, with the kids, the artists collective now at Noyle High School started with Butt and Quinn inviting us to do a show in February in 2023 because she was in 2024. She was gonna open up that space to visiting artists to use as a studio. And I had been in and out the doors with one of my interns, and she said, "You know what? Why don't you guys do a show on the small side of the gallery?" And this show actually last month was our third annual show at Cobalt, and it was Ariana who was then the board chair for Flockworks, the president for Flockworks, and she was able to write the check for the rent that month. It was, I think, $210 or something to get us in to have a space, and they paid for the printing that happened over at Brigadoon. And it's since then it just has become, Button is a real supporter and a champion for student art, and especially students that aren't getting art in the schools, in our classrooms. We're struggling for funding. And it goes back to when I met Janet Self in 2019. And she basically took me from Headlands. We met, had tea for the first time, and then took me by the hand almost to the makerspace at Noyo High School. And we had, 6 hours. They were getting 6 hours a week for their grant, and at $25 an hour. And I would go in there 6 hours. And then once that funding ran out, Fort Bragg, Becky Walker, superintendent at the time, and Connie Belli, who was our principal, they just said, no, you got to keep doing this. And then it's just continued to grow. And Flockworks has been always, hey, we have art supplies, or we're going to pay for the printing, or whatever it takes to keep on doing what we're doing and building. Really, like, all of these people coming together have built an arts collective at Noyo High School. And so Cobalt Gallery, it's Flockworks Creative Center and Cobalt Gallery. It still has it has such a it's such a nice gallery, and it has a reputation for being fine art. And also, if it's not fine art, it's something worth talking about and being engaged and being supported for. So it has that space of, this is serious, and it gives us that platform that has just developed my artists in a way that I really don't know if it would be happening without that space and that opportunity. And then whatever happens in the future, we don't know. But what I do know is the foundation is laid, as far as, this is what we do. We do a big show a couple of times a year in this gallery, or in a space worthy of us coming together and really showing our artwork as serious artists. So it's
Yeah,
really a
and what
special,
a
it's just
and
a
yeah,
special
it is,
place.
Sally. It is, and what a joy for us to, as the public, as the people, as the community, to go and enjoy all of the things. So I want to just mention before we
Yeah.
switch to our Spanish portion of the program that you can come to Cobalt Gallery. Is located in Main Street in Fort Bragg, across the street from the right next door to the North Coast bar, the brewery, sorry, and in Main Street. And you can see this show is going to be available to be watched on from Thursday to Saturdays from 12 to 5 p.m. or by appointment. So you can call the gallery and ask to have the gallery open in a different time until March 28th. So, and you have been listening to MendoLatino. And I'm Loreto Rojas. I'm here with my co-host Diana Coriat, and we are talking with Sally Rodriguez and with Elena Amaya about this show they are presenting right now in Cobalt. Thank you so
That's
much,
right.
guys.
And we've just been doing the first top of the hour. We've been doing it in English. And now we are going to code switch. And we're going to, for our Spanish speaking audience, also do a lot of this second half in Spanish and also a little bit in English. So it's bilingual. It's great for you folks who are learning Spanish too. You get to a little of both. So estamos aquí con mi colocutora Loreto Rojas. Estamos hablando hoy con Sally Rodríguez y Elena Amaya. Y voy a hablar un poco de ellas antes de comenzar a preguntar algo a Elena. Sally es una mujer, es una chicana, es pintora y una educadora de arte. Ella es autodidacta en arte y ella está trabajando en Noyo High School por los últimos 5 años y trabaja en todos medios con los estudiantes. Ella viene de Bay Area y también está asociada con Flockworks. Ella encanta como facilitar las conexiones en la comunidad artística de la costa. Y su práctica creativa está enraizada en la curiosidad, experimentación y conexión. La Elena, ¿quieres presentar? Bienvenida, Sally.
Gracias.
¿Presente?
Y con ella está Elena Saraí Amaya. Ella es nacida y criada en Fort Bragg y está presentando este show donde ella tiene un cuadro también, pero ella fue la curadora de este show y es parte del trabajo que ella ha realizado con Sally en la exploración del arte y cómo el arte también es para Elena una práctica de meditación y algo que le permite entrar en una búsqueda y en un viaje artístico. Ella creó esta, es la curadora de este show que se llama Todos somos individuos y se inspiró para este proyecto en un viaje que ella hizo a ver las ballenas, que donde Sally tuvo la oportunidad de invitar a algunos de sus estudiantes y ella dijo, bueno, yo también voy y nos va a contar un poquito de cómo esto la inspiró a hacer este trabajo. Ella explora, continúa explorando y desarrollando y buscando esta manera de contar historias de manera visual, de una manera muy multifacética. Bienvenida, Elena.
Muchas gracias. Sí. Hablo de cuando salí al bote.
Sí, ¿quieres contarnos un poquito qué fue lo que te inspiró a ti? O sea, sabemos que este es un requisito para graduarte, ¿verdad? De la
Sí.
escuela, que tienen que hacer un proyecto para graduarse y tú decidiste hacer esta obra. Cuéntanos cómo se te vino esta idea de crear una exhibición en esta galería que se llama Cobalt.
Sí, entonces cuando salí me invitó a salir en un bote junto con un experto de ballenas y ahí andaba explicando como cada ballena por su, ¿se dice cola?
Sí, la cola, sí, cada ballena tiene una cola diferente, ¿no?
Sí, la cola diferente y que la cola, si le sacaras una foto y lo metieras en el teléfono, en un app que puedes subir en tu teléfono que se llama Happy Whale, que ahí puedes ver el nombre, la edad, a dónde anda esa ballena y que su cola sirve como un dedo de un humano. Igualito que puedes ver que todos somos diferentes y al fin de ese viaje en el bote nos dio stickers que dijeron todos somos mamíferos. Entonces se me hizo lindo eso. Entonces ahí viene el nombre de mi show que es Todos somos individuales.
Súper. Y entonces, ¿cómo comenzás? ¿Qué es? Primero, cuéntenos, ¿qué es una curadora?
Bueno, es sacando los volantes, es respondiendo a la gente, es hablando con mucha gente y es tratando de... uy,
No te preocupes, te escuchamos bien.
oh, sí, uy, am, hablando con la gente, a veces gente que ocupa que vayamos a recoger su arte Es todo eso, comunicación con mucha gente, todo eso, sí, encontrando a dónde en la galería, a dónde van a ir los cuadros diferentes y a dónde se ven más lindos juntos, sí.
Me gusta mucho cómo lo describes, que no solo buscar arte, es un trabajo de comunicación, es
Sí,
un trabajo de organizar, poner volantes y buscar gente, ¿no?
sí,
Qué lindo, me gusta esa descripción.
Y tú
Eh,
hiciste una campaña, Elena, tú hiciste una campaña de pedir a la gente que trajera sus obras, ¿no? Que te contactaran para este show.
sí, sí, me ayudó mucho Tania Ayala. Ella me ayudó mucho a hacer mis volantes y me enseñó cómo hacerlo con la compu. Ella trajo su compu al hoyo y se sentaba conmigo por horas, a veces nomás ayudándome. Y puse ahí que era abierto a todos los artistas. No había un artista que le dijimos no a, no, era a todos y no importaba si te crees mal o te crees más bien, no, era para todos, no más que sea del mar o que sea de ballenas. Eso es la única cosa que quisimos, sí.
Y Loreto mencionó que tienes también tu propia obra de arte en el show.
Sí, sí, yo tengo mi cuadro. Sí se vendió.
Uh,
Primera noche, sí se vendió. Y era de una historia que había escuchado cuando empezó todo esto. No esto, pero creo que tiene casi 50 años que iban a hacer no sé, oil drilling, no sé cómo se dice, pero lo iban a hacer ahí por el mar.
Explotación petrolera con plataformas petroleras en el mar.
Sí, iban a hacer eso y gente no quiso eso y ahorita creo que con Trump van a tratar de hacer eso otra vez y es bien mal, pero en ese tiempo gente salieron en los botes a protestar que no y había una historia que escuché cuando fuimos a hablar con una persona que sabía mucho de esto y salimos con ella y los habló que una vez cuando estaban protestando salieron en el bote con instrumentos y que las ballenas se subieron la cara así arriba del mar a ver quién estaba jugando los instrumentos y eso era lo que yo pinté. Sí.
wow. Y tú naciste en Fort Bragg y creciste en la costa. Entonces, me imagino que nosotros tenemos esa cuestión anual, la migración de las ballenas, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Entonces, ¿cómo ha cambiado? Me imagino que siempre hayas tenido una relación con el mar, con los peces, con las ballenas, de cierta manera, pero ¿cómo ha cambiado tu relación con el mar y con las ballenas a partir de este programa, de este show?
Sí, antes nomás se me hizo muy bonito y claramente que ahorita sí todavía se me hace bonito, pero ahora yo sé una historia que pasó ahí mismo en el mar donde yo vivo. Hay mucho mar acá en Fort Bragg, you know, y antes nomás se me hizo muy bonito y ahora sé muchas historias de qué pasó acá, de la razón que hacemos esto del mes de las ballenas. Ahora yo sé mucho, yo sé la historia de eso. Sí.
Y puedes ver también, ¿no? El poder de la comunidad organizándose, ¿cierto? Em,
Sí,
el,
sí, es mucho.
adelante, sí.
Ah, sí, bueno, ya lo dije, pero es mucho comunicación y mucho ayudando a la gente y gente me ayuda también. Acá tenemos una comunidad bien bonita, sí.
Claro, qué lindo. Elena, y bueno, quiero recordarle a nuestra comunidad que pueden ver este show que se llama, en inglés se llama We Are All Individuals y en español se llama Todos Somos Individuales, como individuos, ¿no? Como seres individuales. Por esta idea que nos está diciendo Elena, que la cola de la ballena es como nuestra huella digital, ¿no? Solo cada ballena tiene su
Sí,
propia particular forma de la cola y puede ser identificada, ¿no? Eh, Supimos también que en ese viaje que lo lideró Quique de la Luna, que trabaja con Noyo Center, y que el Noyo Center y el grupo con el que él trabaja también en Guerrero están organizando estos sitios hermanos, ¿no? Ciudades hermanas, porque las mismas ballenas que pasan en México también se ven aquí. ¿Puedes contarnos, Elena, cómo fue ese día? Porque ustedes vieron una ballena, ¿no? Willy se llama. Cuéntanos la historia, cómo
sí,
fue cuando la vieron ahí en el mar.
sí, cuando salimos al mar, ya casi 2, 3 horas ahí, porque los quedamos en el mar por como 5 o 4 horas. Y de repente salió la cola de una ballena y le sacaron una foto y lo pusieron en esa app que puedes subir en tu teléfono que se llama Happy Whale y vieron que era Willy y que Willy no lo habían visto acá en 10, 15 años, nomás lo habían visto en México, pero ya tenía años y bien emocionado se puso el Quique, sí, era muy bonito, era un día especial creo que para todos, sí.
Qué lindo. Ahora quiero pasar el micrófono a Sally. I'll ask you in English. I'll ask you in English and Spanish, and you answer in English, and Loretta will translate. So my question to you is about your, you know, you're an artist and you're an educator. Okay, you're a working artist and you're a teaching artist, and I've done that for many years myself, more in the film category. And I know that it's quite magical when young people get to step outside of the regimen of school, of just doing homework and listening to what the teacher says and memorizing, and goes into the creative realm. So, what has that been like for you as an educator? How do you facilitate that process? Para la gente que yo estoy preguntando a Sally, que ella es artista, es educadora, y estoy básicamente preguntando cómo es que ella facilita el proceso de creación artística con la gente joven. Adelante. Go right ahead, Sally.
I think how it's a great question, and I don't know how I do it, but how I think I facilitate it is to really just encourage people to express themselves and to have this space to do that in and to be curious. And when I see the curiosity catch fire, that's where the excitement happens, because that's where the questioning and the confidence starts building on itself. And then it's just a almost a process for them, I think, because I know it is, I know when I see it, and it's a process of not being self-conscious, not being self-conscious enough to really follow the creative channeling that's happening, the muse, and just being there, just being present to encourage anybody that wants to draw or paint or express themselves in any way that I can, get them to see things as everything around us on the side of the road, whatever. It's all art supplies. It's all possible. There's no rules. You don't have to have money to buy something to paint on. And once those barriers are broken down, and I can establish to them, like, this doesn't really, those rules don't mean anything. What means something is you expressing yourself. That's really where I think that's where I start with anybody doing art, even people in my own family, is to just say, hey, this curiosity, this little desire that you want to do, but you're embarrassed because you don't think you're good enough. No, you got to listen to that voice, and you have to take care of, you have to keep, listening to that voice and giving yourself a chance to try something that you're afraid of. And, with the students I've been working with, it's really not that hard because they really are creative. So many of them are just these creative, um, curious creatures, and it's like they were born into this world already, with the tools of, visual and, three-dimensional. They already have the tools. They're coming in like just already equipped. They just need the permission, or like I said, I just can't encourage enough to give space rather than I'm going to tell you how it's going to go with your creative, um, inquiry or curiosity.
Let's let
Qué
Loreto see how much she
interesante lo que
remembers of that.
está, perdón, qué interesante lo que está diciendo Sally. Diana le pregunta cómo se crea este espacio para la creatividad y claro, es un espacio donde uno se da permiso, donde ella como maestra le da permiso a los estudiantes a hacer esta búsqueda y a ser curiosos y también enfocándolos en el hecho de que tenemos ya un montón de cosas alrededor de nosotros que nos
Yes.
permiten ser creativos y ser artistas, que en todas partes se puede encontrar elementos para buscar y reflejar esta creatividad. Quizás uno de los aspectos más lindos de lo que ella está diciendo también es la importancia de liberarnos de este complejo, ¿no? Estar acomplejados de que nosotros no tenemos realmente la habilidad para hacer arte y simplemente poner eso a un lado y decir, bueno, no tiene nada que ver con nada, yo simplemente puedo explorar y crear este espacio donde yo puedo indagar mi propio concepto de la creatividad. Y cuando está hablando de la escuela y de los muchachos, es todavía más interesante porque en este caso ella reconoce que hay un elemento creativo propio ya que existe en estos jóvenes y que lo que ella está haciendo es nada más crear este espacio donde eso se puede manifestar, apoyándolos y mostrándoles las alternativas y las posibilidades que existen, eh, liderados por su propia búsqueda, su propia curiosidad. Muy bonito, Sally, qué lindo trabajo.
Muchas gracias.
Elena, para ti, ¿cómo es como estudiante el proceso artístico? Te voy a hacer una pregunta, ¿cuál es la parte más tal vez fácil y la parte que más desafiante, that challenges you? ¿Cómo es tu propio proceso?
La parte más fácil creo que tiene que ser cuando ya estoy pintando y ya estoy haciendo arte, pero la parte creo que es más difícil sería teniendo una idea. A veces los bloqueamos nosotros mismas porque pensamos que no hay nada que pintar o nada que dibujar, pero puedes dibujar y pintar cualquier cosa. Puedes hacer un árbol, una casa, una ballena, no importa qué sería, y todos tenemos nuestra única forma de hacer arte. No tiene que ser una forma única, no, es muchas formas, y hay muchas formas de ser arte, y creo que cuando los bloqueamos, esa es la parte más difícil. Yo creo que sí. Y la parte que es más fácil es cuando ya te quitas de bloquearte a ti misma y nomás empiezas a pintar o dibujar en cualquier forma.
Qué bien, excelente, qué bonito. Y también este darse este permiso, ¿no? Que era lo que estaba diciendo Sally, pero también el elemento de tener ya la idea y saber a dónde vamos, ¿no? Con esta creatividad. ¿Puedes contarnos un poquito, Elena, de alguno de los artistas que están presentes en tu muestra y que se pueden ver en esta exhibición en Cobalto?
¿De quién? ¿De cualquier?
Bueno, de los artistas que respondieron a tu llamado y que podemos, por ejemplo, tú estás en este momento en la galería y yo sé que las personas en la radio no pueden verte, pero yo veo detrás tuyo una ballena que alguien pintó, ¿no? Que casi
Oh,
a tamaño natural. ¿Quién es este artista? Y cuéntanos un poco de los otros que tienen obras también ahí en la exhibición.
Bueno, este es de Larry Foster y él lo había hecho desde no sé cuántos, 20 años, 20, 25 años y lo tenía guardado y cuando salió mi arte, cuando me contactó, dijo, yo quiero enseñarlo por la primera vez acá. Entonces yo le dije, pues claro que sí, ¿no? Y luego la otra persona que tengo que es un poco especial sería JD Mayhew y él me encanta mucho porque él es una de las razones que hacemos el Whale Fest acá en Fort Bragg y él estaba creo que en los botes cuando salieron, él era una de las personas, sí, y luego acá también tenemos gente de Noyo, estudiantes. También creo que tenemos como 4 estudiantes, sí, y luego tenemos muchas diferentes formas de arte. Tenemos clay, cerámicos, y tenemos, ¿qué más tenemos? Tenemos arte digital, creo que así se dice, sí.
Sí, muy bien, arte digital.
Sí, tenemos eso, tenemos arte de papel, papel que se moja y se molde. Sí, tenemos,
Papel maché,
sí,
hay unas esculturas, hay una escultura de una ballena, ¿no? Que está colgada y que
sí,
está como saliendo de la pared.
sí, a ver si puedo voltear la cámara, mira, ahí está.
Sí, tienen que ir a ver esta galería, queridos auditores. La galería se llama Cobalto. Está en la calle principal en Fort Bragg, en el corazón de Fort Bragg realmente. Si la buscan la van a encontrar. Y pueden ver el show que se llama Todos somos individuos. em, y la galería está abierta de jueves a sábado, de 12 a 5 de la tarde hasta el 28 de marzo, así que todavía queda una semana para ver este show y también pueden verla si piden una cita. Quiero mencionar que esta exposición cuenta también con el apoyo de Flockworks, la escuela de Noyo High School y la Cámara de Comercio de Fort Bragg y por supuesto, en el contexto de el Festival de las Ballenas que tenemos cada año aquí en el mes de marzo, también está apoyada por la ciudad de Fort Bragg y por el Noyo Center, que es la organización también están ofreciendo muchísimos viajes a ver las ballenas durante esta época. Así que también los invitamos a contactarlos en caso que quieran tener esta oportunidad que inspira e inspiró a Elena a hacer este trabajo, ¿no? Es muy interesante esta exhibición. Diana, ¿tienes otra pregunta para
Sí,
nuestras invitadas?
sí, claro. Yo estaba pensando que este show tiene mucha resonancia porque viviendo en la costa, eh, tenemos una conexión muy fuerte con la naturaleza, ¿no? Entonces, hay muchas de las galerías que siempre están mostrando así obras de arte que tienen mucho que ver con la naturaleza. Em, Eso es parte de nuestra creatividad acá, ¿no? Entonces, Elena, sé que puede ser difícil contestar eso. Tienes 18 años, a veces no sabemos lo que vamos a hacer próximo, pero cuéntanos un poco un sueño que tienes como relacionado con arte y o naturaleza. ¿Qué sueño? ¿Qué viene próximo?
Próximo, bueno, creo que un sueño que tengo es moverme a un lado que es muy natural. Me gustan los árboles y me gusta el frío y me gusta el mar, los ríos, todo eso, pero un lugar creo que más grande. Sí, yo creo que no hay oportunidades acá, pero creo que hay mucho más, especialmente para gente que apenas están pensando. Entonces, eso es lo que yo quiero explorar. Es un lugar mucho más grande, pero todavía natural y todavía casi como Fort Bragg. Sí, pero arte, creo que yo también tenía un sueño de ser maestra, pero de niños chiquitos, pero ahora como ya estoy aprendiendo más arte, maybe me metiera a ser maestra de arte, pero para niños chiquitos.
Ah, maravilloso. Y puede ser, hay
Sí,
muchos jóvenes de Fort Bragg que salen y se educan y vuelven, ¿no?
sí, sí, claro.
Conocemos muchos casos de personas que vuelvan y comienzan a relacionarse con la educación. Su paso natural es enseñar, ¿no? Tenemos
Sí.
mucha gente así. How much time left, Loreto, on the show?
Bueno, quería mencionar que estamos en MendoLatino escuchando este programa, nos quedan un par de minutos. Em, Quería también destacar que nosotras con Diana hemos decidido hacer este programa porque queríamos celebrar con nuestra audiencia el Día Internacional de la Mujer, que es el 8 de marzo. Tuvimos un programa, si se lo perdieron, los invito a escucharlo. Es un programa en español donde tuvimos a Xochitl Martínez y a Anaí Rojas y donde hablamos de los desafíos y las situaciones en que nos encontramos las mujeres estos días. Y el día de hoy hemos dedicado este programa para hablar con Sally Rodríguez, que es educadora y artista ella misma y trabaja con jóvenes de la escuela secundaria Noyo. Y con ella está Elena Amaya, quien ha curado un show en la galería de Cobalt, que ustedes pueden verlo, para ella misma graduarse del Noyo High School. Y quiero destacar el trabajo de estas personas aquí y de la importancia de ofrecer estos espacios para la comunidad y para los jóvenes, de tener esta oportunidad de libremente explorar su creatividad y aprender cosas nuevas. Nos queda solo un par de minutos. Diana, no sé si quieres agregar algo.
Bueno, yo quería preguntar Sally algo, pero no sé si hay tiempo. What's
Solo
next
queda
for
un
you?
minuto. One
Un
minute
minuto.
left. Yes.
Oh, Sally, give us one word. What's next?
What's that?
What's next? What's next for you? What show, what art?
What's next is a show in June at Cobalt called Jazz Jukes and Juxtapositions, and it's a solo show, and it's all musically themed visual paintings, and we're trying to get as many people into the gallery to play live music. If you happen to play or Loreto and you guys want to come and have a little jam open mic session, please do. And then after that, I
Bien,
that's it.
genial. O sea, y esto es en el contexto del Jazz Festival, ¿no? En el contexto, Sally tendrá también un show solo y donde ella va a presentar y donde vendrán muchos artistas para tocar, invitando a la gente a hacer música mientras disfrutamos del arte. Bueno, quiero agradecer muchísimo a nuestras invitadas, a Sally Rodríguez y a Elena Saraí Amaya por venir hoy a hablar con nosotros en Mendo Latino. Y nos vemos pronto de nuevo. Gracias a todos por venir a Mendo Latino.
Gracias.
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 Adiós.